What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to go over some fixes and the reverse transformation for the X-Transbots Fast and Fury. So during my review I mentioned I had some issues, specifically with this guy. I had some problems, but this fixes kind of apply to both of them. So let's talk about this guy. Now I did have a breakage on my copy. So you can see on this foot, I had this panel right here, and it should be right here attached. So there's actually a screw that goes this direction up into this. So when it's in vehicle mode, there's really actually no way to access it because it's all kind of folded up. So if you feel this is really tight and it's not rotating, then you can actually loosen the screw from the other side in hopes that, you know, it won't break. Mine, there was really no way to access it, but if you do, then if you know that it's tight and you have the benefit of knowing what I know now, then you can fix it. So go ahead and open this up. There's two little screws right here. So we're going to take those out. And by the way, you have to use the X-Transbots standard issue screwdriver or this won't work. That's a joke, by the way. You can use whatever screwdriver you want. So take those screws out, just set those aside, and then you're going to pull this out, and there's a peg for this front light. So just be careful with that front peg. But we're going to pull this off, and here's that light and that peg. So when you put it back, just make sure you get that peg in, and then push this back on. And now I could show you, so here's the piece that broke off and the screw. But on a good copy, this will be sitting right here, plugged into this. And you're going to basically loosen this screw. So you'll have something like this, right? And you'll have this screw in here. Now I did try to actually put this screw back in, and I'll just show you what happens. It's a little bit short, so the material that it was going into is gone. So it touches, it barely touches, but it doesn't make it away. So basically you're going to just loosen this screw, just back it out a half turn and then retighten it, and don't tighten it all the way. Just tighten it, leave it a little bit loose, and then this rotation will be a little bit better. So I do have to take this out anyways because I'm going to request a new part, but that's how you can fix that if you have that issue. And I did get confirmation from a few people that they did indeed have that problem. So to avoid breakage, you want to put that on. So to put this back, you're just going to get that tab lined up on the light. And then once you have that lined up, then you can put it in. Right? And then go ahead and put the screws back in. I'm just going to do that off camera, but put the two screws back in and then we'll continue on. All right, the next joint that you can look at is the foot. So if you have a foot that's a little bit loose on this or on the toe tends to be tighter, but it's really this joint right here. You can just tighten this screw. Now, I noticed this is actually getting loose as you use this joint, so that means that it's cutting into the plastic and it's undoing the screw as you use the joint. So you're gonna have to keep doing it, unfortunately, just the way it's designed. It kind of sucks, but that's just how it is. Now this one doesn't have that problem, so I don't know if they just made a mistake on this or used a bigger screw or something, but that'll help you with the feet if you have that issue. Next, we can talk about the knees. So if you have a loose knee, which I did, then you can come to this joint right here. And there's the screw, and you can tighten that. Now, be careful with this one because it's actually a tight fit, so you can scratch up the paint if you're not careful. So just bend it so that the paint is out of the way. You're going to tighten this screw until you get, a good fit. But that's pretty good now. Now he's still not going to hold his weight, but at least it's not flopping around like it was before. All right, next we'll look at the shoulder joints here. So if you have looseness up here, now I already tightened it, so it's not loose, but come up to here, you can see there's those two screws. Now initially I did have very loose shoulder joints, so you're just gonna, again, back this out, maybe, you know, a quarter turn. You can see now it's loose again. And then just tighten that up. Another joint that I think loosens over time, but, and don't overdo it again, you know, just enough. There we go. So a nice tolerance on that, and then you can close everything back up. Another one that I think some people have is this, which I don't think is really fixable, but it's more just awareness. So on the inside of this backpack, and hopefully I can show you on camera, but there's a little tab on the inside corner of the backpack, and mine are actually broken off, so I don't know when those disappeared or where they went, but if you still have those tabs, they actually go into the side of this hinge joint right there, and that helps to secure the backpack a little bit better, but you really want this to be flush. So if you use my transformation instructions, you should be able to get that flush and use those tiny little pins. Just be careful with them because obviously they break off, but that'll help you secure the backpack a little bit. I don't have a fix for this, but I'm getting a little sticker from, thanks to Robo Lucas, who is making those, so I can cover up that hole, which was a totally unnecessary sacrifice here. And the last one was the head joint. So to do this, you really have to remove the head. Now, the best way to do that is to remove these 3 screws and, you know, basically clean off that joint. Now I found after moving the head a lot, it did fix. So now I don't have, it's not getting stuck anymore. It's actually able to move up and down. So I don't need to do that, but if you need to, you got to remove those screws and then clean up whatever's stuck in there that's causing that problem. The last one is the thighs, not being able to rotate the thighs. You can see I can rotate it now. And that requires you removing these 3 screws. So I'll just show you. So if you removed all 3 screws, you can separate this. It can be a little tricky to separate, so I recommend grab a spudger. And you can use that to help pry it apart, but it looks like it came off anyway. Okay, so here's what it looks like on the inside. And what's happening is this piece of plastic right here is getting cut up and stuck against the metal. So you can see I already put some lubricant in there. That's what that colored thing is. You know, that's lubricant. So that the plastic can move inside of the metal. That's really what the issue is. So you can use shock oil or some other lubricant to get this to be a little better. And that'll help you, allow you to rotate it. If you try to rotate it before you do that, I already did this one too, but if you try to do that before you put some lubricant, you potentially could break it. So I recommend you open it up and do that if it's really tight like mine was. All right, now that we have Fury all fixed up and tightened up, let's get fast transformed into vehicle mode. So we're going to do the reverse transformation. Go ahead and take the gun out. I recommend you pull down first and then rotate so it comes out of that slot. Might as well work on the arm since we're already on it. You can fold this in, fold that down, bring this up, rotate this in, collapse this down, open up this panel, fold the arm back, and it's going to tab in on the top here, like that. So go ahead and do the same thing on this side. We'll undo all of his backpack and stuff. So come to the back here. You can bring this down. We can unpeg this and just extend this out so it gets out of the way. Same on this side. You can rotate these up and out of the way. In here, we're going to unpeg this. It's actually tabbed in right here on the bottom. And it's tabbed in here on the top. So you're unpegging these bars from this metal piece here. And then you can rotate the whole thing upwards. And we can take care of this inside here. So fold up the seats, fold down the bottom of the seats. Take the steering wheel, fold that out, and that has to actually aim this way, so you can have it like that. Come to this side, you can actually rotate his head around so it faces backwards. And then we're going to take this whole backpack thing and undo what we did before. So open these up, open up the wheels, open up these panels, and you can flip this around and you get that rear glass back together. Right? So we can bring this all down. This is going to rotate to the back, so just bring these to the back and leave those right there for now. Go ahead and take this front section, and that's going to slide forward and come flush here. And then these seats will plug into here. Then we can take this panel here, bring this forward on this metal hinge. Bring your arms down. So for the arms, we're going to get it configured so this tab is going into this slot, and you want the arms folded upwards. This rotate around and sitting in like this. And then this can accordion up on this hinge and go inwards like that. It's the same on this one. Rotate the arm, rotate this in, and then we're going to take this and hinge it in. Tab these together. So it looks like that. Come to the back here and just lift this up a little bit. We're going to take these rear pieces and configure these to go in. So rotate this down. This white piece is going to fold into here. And then this is going to hinge back and go underneath here. So same on this side. Fold this over. White piece is going to go underneath here. And then this piece is going to go under there. And then we can tab together the bumper. So get both tabs lined up. And then we're going to push this in. It's tabbing into the bottom or the back of these arms. They're kind of blind tabs, but they're right there. So line those up. And then get that tabbed in. Then take this glass and tab it into the top. So if you've got everything right, you should have something like this. We're gonna, oh, I forgot to fold these in. Make sure you fold in these little white pieces here that make the abs for him. So that's what our top should look like. We can take this. This is going to come down. There's a tab there and a tab here. So bring this down. And it doesn't feel great, but it does actually work. So you should have that nice and flush. Same on this side. Bring this down. Tab it in there. Tab it into the side of the vehicle on the wheel. Right, now we'll take care of the legs. So come down to here. We'll undo this piece back here. Bring your foot down on this hinge and then rotate it down like this. And leave it there for now. Open up this. Unpeg the door from the front. I'm going to rotate this panel out. We can leave this down for now. This panel, we're going to rotate 180 degrees. Open this up. You have to have this angled upwards so you can fold out the top of this hood and clear all that. Then you can bring that back down. This is going to rotate down this way. Actually, before we do that, we're going to rotate the door around, and it's going to slide down on the slider. So you need to actually do both. But so that can just sit right there for now. On the bottom, we're going to rotate up on this panel and rotate this in. So it looks like that. For the foot, I'm going to take this, and while it's down here actually, open this up. We can flip around this panel, rotate the wheels over, rotate this over, and then we can actually leave this down, but we're going to rotate this in so you end up with the wheels like this. Right, bring this back up and close up the cordiness down on the hinge. So it ends up like this. For the thigh, we're going to come to the inside here. Recommend a spudger to pop open this panel right here, because we're going to take this knee and accordion it back on this hinge and then push it in on the bottom. It actually goes a little further than you think intuitively, so just make sure you get that in. And yeah, this is going to sit in all the way so that the hood can sit on the top. Leave this down for now because we had to plug that in a little later. And then make sure your leg is perfectly straight and this door is down and ready to go in. And we'll get this rotated. And go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Right now we have both legs kind of ready. You can tab them together. There's two tabs. So just press them together. And make sure it actually is solidly together on that hood too. So what we're going to do here is you can actually rotate the steering wheel up and out of the way. And these seats should be down and back. Sometimes they'll move on you. So just make sure you get that. I guess you could do this later too. You don't have to do it right now, but get those configured. And what we're trying to do is get the legs so that they're facing forward on this joint. So we need to undo this. I recommend take the legs apart for a second and rotate these independently and then get them pegged back together. Right, now we can start combining this together. So these two pegs are going to go into these two slots. So get this all lined up. And give it a push. And that should attach that. And then these are going to tab into the side of the thighs. So get these tabbed in. These panels we're going to fold upwards and they're going to peg in right here. So line those up and peg it in. So on this side, bring this up, tab that in. And then kind of finishing steps here, but go ahead and bring this down. Tab that into the side and make sure it makes its way on top of this one. Same on this one. Bring this down. Make sure it makes its way on top of the other one. And I got something not quite lined up. Okay, there we go. So that's how it should look. And then we can close the doors. We'll just tab into the sides. And there you go. There is fast back in vehicle mode.